Om Jananim Sharadam Devim Ramakrishnan Jagadgurum Vadapadme Tayo Sritva Pranamami Muhurmuhu. Om Bhadram Karne Vishrunuyama Devaha Bhadram Pashyem Akshaviryajatraha Sthirairangai Stuštuvagum Sastanubhi Yashema Devahitam Yadayuhu Swasti na Indro Vriddhashavaha Swasti na Pusha Vishvavedaha Swasti nastarkshu Aristanemihi Swasti no Brihaspatir Dadhatu. Om Shanti 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 Hare Om. Om. O gods, may we always hear with our ears what is auspicious. O worshipful ones, may we with our eyes always see what is auspicious. May we live our allotted life hale and hearty, offering our worship unto Thee. May Indra of ancient fame bestow auspiciousness on all of us. May the all-nourishing portion be propitious to all of us. May Garuda, a destroyer of all evil, be well disposed towards all of us. May Brihaspati ensure all our welfare. Om. Peace, peace, peace be unto all. In our last class, we have completed the Mandukya Karika, 100th shloka. Then we have started 3 verses Shankaracharya was offering to Gaudapadacharya because his grand guru and Shankaracharya is the grand disciple, both in the sense of grand and also disciple's disciple or guru's guru. And in the 100th one is a, you can say, very essence of this entire, not only Mandukya Upanishad, but all the 100 Karikas, 215 Karikas actually. Durdarsham Atigambiram Ajam Samyam Visharadam Buddha Padam Ananatvam Namaskurmo Yathabalam. Having realized that supreme knowledge of the supreme reality, and which is extremely difficult to be grasped. It is profound, birthless, always the same, all light and free from multiplicity. We salute this great reality and as well as teaching as best as we can. Namaskurmo yathabalam. What can we say? When a devotee completely surrenders himself to God, what can he do? That is why Ramanuja said so beautifully, Karpanye, with the greatest humility. I have been able to surrender myself to you. Even this very act of surrender is thy profound grace. That is, then I will live, if I have to live as long as I live, with this firm knowledge that everything is possible only by your grace. With this, the Mandukya Upanishad and Karikas are over, and the great Shankara had written one of the most profound commentaries upon the commentary of Gaudapada. What Gaudapada had given in 215 verses, Karikas, is not a comment. The word, English word commentary, in Sanskrit is called Bhashyam. So, what is the difference between Bhashyam and Karika? A Bhashyam has to explain every word of the Upanishadic mantra, or it can be anything else also. For example, if somebody is writing a Bhashyam on Patanjali Yoga Sutras, what the Yoga Sutra is talking about, every word they have to take up. Then there are certain characteristics. They have to find out what was the previous sutra and what is the relationship between that sutra and this present sutra, and what is the relationship between the present sutra and the coming sutra. So there must be harmony, a unity, and every word must be explained, and in that particular order. And if there are any people who are holding a different opinion, and we have to take it into consideration, how do you counter this particular person's opinion? So that is called bhashya. Whereas what Gaudapada had done is simply he had digested the original mantra and trying to express it in his own words, the essence of it. But then sometimes it becomes very funny. The essence, supposed to be the essence of the Upanishad, becomes even more tough than the Upanishad itself. But let us remember, this Upanishad is not giving like we are holding this public class. In the olden days, that was a completely different system. Only those who are firm believers in either Dvaita or Visishtadvaita or Advaita, their respective gurus take it for granted that their question of doubting what I am teaching will not arise. Then what is it? For better clarification. So maybe earlier Acharyas, Purvacharyas, they have also commented. So that also is taken into consideration. But at the same time, I am clarifying it. In fact, every Acharya claims that I am not writing anything new, I am not talking anything new. What my Guru and Guru's Parampara, earlier Gurus, following this particular belief, Dvaita or Visishtadvaita, what they have taken, I am only reminding, trying to put you, because I am present, they are not present, you are present, so I digest, and whatever I understood, I am conveying it to you. But because of certain language, many times I have pointed out, so Gaudapadacharya could not help but use very complicated, complex words, and especially he knew thoroughly about the Buddhistic philosophy. So this is the Gaudapada Karika, but the overall idea is crystal clear. What is the idea? Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya, Jivo Brahmaiva Naparaha. Brahman alone is the reality, and this Brahman is never born. And to think that Brahman is born as I, as you, as everything else, is called Mithya. And Gaudapada wants to explain how this Mithyatva is there. We will see about it when we are talking about the summary of this entire Upanishad. But with this, the fourth chapter, Alata Shanti Prakarana, consisting of 100 Karikas, is over. The first chapter, called Agama Prakarana. So that as only 29, etc., total 215 slokas, we will come to that soon. And now, having commented upon his Paramaguru's Karikas, 215 Karikas, Shankara is offering at the conclusion his own salutations to his Guru's Guru and through that to his Guru also. And we have already started it. Ajamapi Jani Yogam Prapat Aishwarya Yoga Agaticha Gatimatam Prapat Ekam Hi Anekam Vividha Vishaya Dharma Grahi Mugdhekshananam Pranata Bhaya Vihantru Brahma Yat Tat Nato Asmi. I salute, I bow to that Brahman who is the destroyer of all fear of those who take shelter under it. Those who surrender to Brahman, that Brahman, the knowledge of the Brahman makes the destruction of every type of fear, because fear always comes from the second, and this knowledge gives that I am the only one, there is no second. And this Brahman is, which though unborn, appears to be associated with birth through its inscrutable and indescribable power of Maya in the form of knowledge and activity. So through Maya, a Srishti is there. And in the Srishti, there are two classifications. One is with life. With life means with consciousness, with awareness, with knowledge. And another is without life, existence is there, but Chit and Ananda are absent. So, this creates multiplicity. Every jiva thinks that there are so many other jivas are there. This is called multiplicity. And why does this bhranti or illusion, delusion appear? Because of the power of Maya. It is not our fault. It is only Brahman, as it were, is playing, and the only way it can be described is Leela, Nitya and Leela in Sri Krishna's terminology. Nitya means nobody can talk, nobody can think, there is no need for this Mandukya classes. Leela means we have to go through all these things. That is what is called Leela. And can we understand this Maya? No, it is inscrutable because it exists, it doesn't exist. At the same time, we can't say it is real or it is unreal. It is real because we are experiencing. It is unreal because it is only temporary. And whatever is temporary is called unreal. Unreal means changing. Unreal means dependency is there. So this is the nature of Maya. What does it do? Aghatana ghatana patiyasi. It makes the impossible possible. What is the impossible? It makes the Brahman. As it were, it is Brahman. Atma is made to appear as Anatma. Really, Atma never becomes Anatma, but this Maya's power makes it appear to people as if we are all different from Brahman, and Brahman is born, and it grows, and it dies. This is called change. That is what happened. So, Vividha Vishaya Dharma Grahi, which, though ever at rest, which means Brahman, though ever at rest, appears to be moving, Vividha Vishaya Grahi, and which, though non-dual, appears to have become multifarious object. For whom? For those whose vision is deluded by the perception of endless objects and their attribute. Who is such a person? I, you, everybody else. So that is the meaning of this Shankara's salutation. Then, Prajna Vaishakha Veda Kshuvita Jalanidhe Veda Namno Antarastham Bhutani Alokya Magnani Avirata Jananagraha Ghore Samudre Karunyat Uddadhara Amritamitam Amaraihi Durlabham Bhuta Hetoho Yahatam Pujyabhi Pujyam Paramagurum Amum Padapatahi Natosmi Pujyabhi Pujyam Paramagurum Gaudapadhacharyam Padapatahi Natosmi. I prostrate, and there are different types of prostrations. Namaskarams are there called pranams. One is you stand up and you fold your hands. This is what we usually do. Another is just bend a little and touch the feet of somebody. That is what also we do generally. But in South India, most important is they fall completely. Sastanga, Ashta Anga, Sa Ashta Anga, Sastanga Pranam. So this is what Shankaracharya is telling. I do Sastanga Pranam. Why? Is South Indian. Natosmi, Padapataihi, Natosmi. There is a tradition in South India. If a brahmachari or a junior boy, Brahmin boy especially, meets a senior Brahmana or Sannyasin, he has to hold his ears with the opposite hands. That is, the right hand will be holding the left ear and the left hand is holding the right ear. It is much more effective than each hand holding. And then he has to tell, my Gotra is Bharadwaja Gotra, Vishwamitra Gotra, and then I am saluting you. There is a Sanskrit, this thing is there, Abhivadaye, and then fall Sastanga Pranam. And take care. If anybody does it to you, always carry some chocolates at least. You will have to give something. Otherwise, next time, he may not do that. So I prostrate to the feet of that great teacher. And what type of teacher? The most adored among the adorable. And who is the most adored? A person who has realized the truth he is talking about. And then he is a Jivan Mukta, who, out of sheer compassion for the beings, that is all of us, What type of beings are we? Drowned in the deep ocean of the world. What type of world? Infested with the terrible sharks of incessant births and deaths. Hindus firmly believe, Hindus, Buddhists, Jains, and Sikhs, in Purva Janma and Parajanma. Many births are there. 84 lakh Janma. So we do not know. It is to say, numberless, countless Janmas are there. That is what Shankara is referring. There are terrible sharks. What sharks? What type of sharks? Of being born, living for some time, experiencing sukha and dukkha, and health and ill health, and becoming old, called Shad Urmi. 6 type of waves, one after the other, not at the same time, but at different ways. And then this is going on and on, one after the other. And then this grace of this Guru rescues for the benefit of all this nectar. How does the Guru rescue a disciple? When the disciple completely surrenders himself at the feet of the teacher, he gives him that nectar, Amrita. What is the Amrita? The celebrated word Amrita. So, Kshira Samudra Mathana, all for what? For obtaining the Amrita. This story in the Bhagavatam has both an exoteric meaning and esoteric meaning, an external meaning and an inner meaning. Bahyartha, Antarartha. So what is the Bahyartha? Gods and demons. That is, all the thoughts, good and evil thoughts, they are fighting continuously. Just as in our case, it is our sadhana is nothing but a pure fight in this Kurukshetra or Karmakshetra through this body and mind of this incessant fight between the good and evil, Daiva and Asura. There is nothing else but that one. But if we pray to God, surrender ourselves, God's grace will come to our side and we will be able to overcome. So if we can churn this life, which is compared to an ocean, but that ocean is not a Visha Samudra. It is only temporary phenomena. Visha is temporary. Amrita is permanent. But that Amrita is hidden. So just as butter, even though it is all over the milk, it has to be churned out. So also this Amrutatva, potential divinity, must be manifest. And that is the inner meaning. In the external meaning, Dhanvantari is a guru actually. He comes and gives temporary happiness if we really control our mind. Churning means controlling the mind. So many things, good things, bad things can happen. But in the end, the guru comes and he makes a person dharmic and the person becomes happy. But the nature of happiness is, after some time, it will goad us, drive us, poke us to move forward higher and higher until we reach the highest and find everything worthless. And then our attention is turned to still higher. That which we are searching outside now becomes a inner search, and that is the Avruta Chakshuhu Amrutatvam Ichan, and that is what is beautifully described in the Upanishad, Vanaprastha. Then through intensifying sadhana, we enter into that 4th stage where we are capable of surrendering ourselves totally at the feet of the Divine Lord, Saguna Brahma. And then out of His mercy, Sarvadharmana Parityajya, so I will take you out of this Shokasagara, as Bhagavan Krishna categorically states in the very Charama Shloka of the Bhagavad Gita. That is the inner meaning, that we have to realize our true nature. Our true nature is Brahman, and so I prostrate completely at the feet of my teacher, who, out of his infinite grace, bestow upon me the nature of self-knowledge or Brahma-gnana, and I know that I have been having what we call a nightmarish dream. I am not what I am. So I thought I was somebody else. I thought I was not at my home. But somewhere else, I thought I lost all my people and I was with strangers. I was roaming about in a strange country with strange clothes and a strange type of behavior. But that is only a nightmarish dream. But the Guru awakens, uttishtata, jagrata, prapyavara, nibodhata. And what else? How else can I express my gratitude to that ever gracious Guru, who is none other than Paramatma, and in the end, who is none other than my own true self. I prostrate completely at the lotus feet of my Guru, who rescued me. This is the second salutation by Shankara. The third one was, Yat pragnaloka bhasa pratihatim agamat swanta mohandakari majjan unmajjacha ghorehi asakrit upajano danvati trasane me yat padau ashritanam shruti shama vinaya prapti agrahyam amogha tat padau pavaniyo bhava bhaya vinudau sarva bhavaihi namasya. More or less, same meaning in different words. I make obeisance, I salute with my whole being. That is the meaning of what is called Sashtanga Pranama, means through the body, through my speech, through my mind. These are the three parts of my whole being to those holy feet. And what type of holy feet? The dispeller of the fear of this chain of births and deaths. That means he who is capable of granting me mukti. And who is that person? Of my great teacher, who through the light of his illumined reason, when a teacher is compassionate towards the disciple, he will come down to the level of the disciple and he will try to make him understand the highest truth in the way the disciple can really understand. That is called illumined reason, means it is not Tarkika's reason. Even a person like Sam Harris, who do not believe in God, etc., and we can jolly well live without God. These are called, but they use tremendous amount of logical power to convince others. There is a famous person called Sam Harris, and if you search for him on the internet, you will get very easily. So not like that. Illumined reason means illumination comes from the teachings of the Upanishads. But to make those things, illumined teachings, make us understand, he uses reason which we can understand. So the teacher, by using this illumined reason, had thrown light upon my buddhi, my understanding, my intellect. And thereby what happens? Because it is illumined, it destroyed the darkness of delusion, which had been enveloping my mind until now, and who destroyed, the Guru who destroyed forever my notions of appearance and disappearance. Appearance means janma, birth. Disappearance means mrityu. In this terrible ocean of innumerable births and deaths. And His grace is not only upon me, but upon all who makes all others also that can take shelter at His feet. They also attain to the same unfailing knowledge of scriptures and obtain peace and the state of perfect non-differentiation or Advaita. So I salute that Guru. What is the purport of these three? That without the grace of God, it is impossible to know who I am and to become completely free. Mukti is not possible. Liberation is not possible without the grace of God. But how does the grace of God come? It comes in the form of my own Guru. A Guru is nothing but the grace of God assuming a human form. Because I am human, I can only contact or establish a relationship with somebody who is like me. There are, of course, other types of relationships. We can establish a relationship with a piece of stone, with a dog, with a bird. These are called pets. But that is not going to help us. We have to establish a lasting, eternal relationship with God through the form of a Guru. So Guru and then image of God, Ishtadevata, there is no difference at all. That is why the Guru is necessary. But what is Guru? Guru means the correct knowledge, right knowledge. So knowledge can be 3 types of knowledge will be there. So one type of knowledge is a doubtful knowledge. Another type of knowledge, partial knowledge. Another type of knowledge, that completely opposite type of knowledge is there. So all these things will be destroyed. Right knowledge will be obtained. Guru means the knowledge of the scriptures present to me in the form of a living personality, which alone can help us. So my salutations to that great Guru. These are the 3 verses. Gaudapada himself salutes that Brahman in the 100th shloka. Then Shankaracharya also comments upon that. Then adds his own 3 shlokas to show his eternal gratitude to his Guru, because of whose grace he himself had obtained. And by proxy, what we mean is, we also through our Gurus, we can obtain. This is the meaning of what Charama Shloka is called in the Bhagavad Gita, that is, without Sharanagati, there is no other way. But if some people have some kind of objection to use this word Sharanagati, for them the understanding is that I destroy my individuality, my wrong opinion, and I accept the right understanding and make it my own. That is the meaning of Sharanagati. So with this, the Upanishad is over, and the Gaudapada Karikas, divided into 4 chapters, is over. But we will come to the Shanti Mantra later on. Now I want to revise and go to the very essence of, because we have taken nearly, I think 153 or something like that. Classes are there. Started practically 2 or 3 years back. Now I will go back because it's very good to revise. So there are many Upanishads are there, and there is Upanishad called Muktika Upanishad. It only catalogues about 108 Upanishads, but more than 200 Upanishads are available, and many of them may not be authentic, because there is also a Allah Upanishad, and also one more is added several years back. It is called Ramakrishna Upanishad by none other than a great Indian. So Upanishads can be created. Are these false? I don't know about Allah Upanishad. I have never read it. But essentially, they are also telling the teachings of Islam also are nothing but Upanishad. In a way, it is also true. But what is important for us, that the teachings of Sri Rama, Sri Krishna, or Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, or Sri Ramakrishna, every avatara, their words are nothing but pure Upanishads. So, there are many Upanishads. Of these, there are 10, they are called Mukhya Upanishads, and they are called Mukhya not because Upanishads classify them as important, but because the great Shankaracharya has written commentary upon them. And some people, of course, add also Shvetashvetara Upanishad, which is the 11th one. There is slight doubt. It doesn't make any difference. Where somebody must have written just like Shankaracharya in the name of Shankaracharya. But that is also beautiful commentary. All that we need to understand is these commentaries are very good. So these 10 Mukhya Upanishads means those which have been commented by Shankaracharya: Isha, Kena, Katha, Prashna, Mandukya, Mandukya, Taittiriya, Aitareya, Chandogya, and Brihadaranyaka. These are the 10. And if we add Shvetashvatara, which we have done, that becomes the 11th. The Mandukya Upanishad belongs to the Atharvana Veda. As we know, Vedas are divided into 4 by Veda Vyasa himself. Vyasa means editor, the classifier. So the Rig Veda, Yajurveda, Samaveda. Those were the Vedas earlier at the beginning. Then a great Rishi had come along, and his teachings were followed by a very large number of people, and he was called Atharvana Rishi. So we were what is called forced to accept his teachings also as the fourth Veda, and with that a line is drawn up, so that afterwards it is not called Veda, it is what you call teachings based upon the Veda. So this Mandukya Upanishad belongs to the Atharvana Veda, and see how beautiful. Therefore Atharvana must have been a great person, and it is associated with a rishi called Manduka. Manduka means a frog. So the word Manduka has the meaning of frog, and some people call this Upanishad Frog Upanishad because the teaching in this Upanishad makes a very big leap like a frog. And Sri Ramakrishna also, in his experiences of how Kundalini reaches the Sahasrara, from Mooladhara to Sahasrara, refers to this frog, just like frog jumps. So I have experienced that also. And this Mandukya Upanishad is a small Upanishad. In fact, one of the smallest of the major Upanishads, consisting of how many mantras? Only 12. For this Upanishad, Gaudapada Acharya has written an analysis called Karika. So as I said, Karika is not a commentary, but this is an analysis, and sometimes he makes it even tougher than the Upanishad itself. Gaudapada is the guru of Shankaracharya's guru. Who was the guru of Shankaracharya? Govinda Bhagavatpada. And Shankaracharya met this Govinda Bhagavatpada on the banks of the Narmada. And the guru of Govinda Bhagavatpada was called Gaudapada. So at least there must have been 50-60 years difference between Shankara and Gaudapada, earlier to Shankara. So usually Shankaracharya's time is accepted as though there is a very great controversy, and it doesn't matter for us. But 8th century means a century that has gone earlier. That means 700 something. So this Gaudapada's work is called Karikas, Mandukya Karikas, and there are 215 Karikas are there. Karika, or we can call it verse also. So Shankara writes a commentary not only on the 12 mantras of the Upanishad, but also on the 215 Karikas of his grand guru, Parama Guru, Gaudapada Acharya. So these Mandukya Upanishad of 12 mantras plus 215 Karikas are divided into 4 chapters. The first chapter is called Agama Prakaranam. What is the meaning of Agama Prakaranam? Means a chapter. Context. Agama means Shruti, Vedas, Upanishads. So because it contains the Agama Prakarana, first chapter, it contains all the 12 mantras of the Upanishads plus 29 Karikas of Gaudapada trying to explain. And then Gaudapada divides these 12 mantras and then he tries to explain. I will come to that very soon. So the second chapter is called Vaitathya Prakarana. Let me go back to the first. First chapter is called Agama Prakarana because Agama means Shruti. Shruti means Upanishad. So because there are 12 mantras are there, and so that is called Agama. That is why Upanishad plus a little bit of analysis. That is why it is called Agama Prakarana. The second Prakarana is called Vaitathya. So again, these chapters are dependent upon the central ideas derived from these 12 mantras. So the Mandukya Upanishad is primarily consisting of 2 topics. One is called Omkara Vichara, another is called Atma Vichara. So from first and second, first it says about Omkara, second it says about Atma, and incidentally one of the Mahavakyas comes in the second mantra. From mantra 7 onwards is until 12th practically, it is the analysis of what is the real nature of. This is not Jagrat, this is not Swapna, this is not Sushupti, this is not in between states. Then what is it? Shantam, Shivam, Advaitam. And that is what he wants to find out. So then what are we seeing? We don't see Brahman, we see Brahma. Brahma means, don't take it in the extreme sense of delusion. We use that word. But here Brahmagnana means Brahmagnana, not Brahmagnana. Please do not get confused. Brahma, Brahma. Brahma means non-Brahman knowledge, Anatma Gnana. So the whole experience that we have, Srishti Sthiti Laya, or this is what happens, this is called Jagrat, Swapna, Sushupti, is equivalent to Srishti Sthiti Laya. And these are the three experience states only of experience, life after life, from the beginning to the end. And once we get out of it, and that state is called Turiyam. So the whole experience is divided into these three states, and whatever knowledge we think we are getting, because we are acting and reacting because of that, this Brahmagnana, which is totally dependent upon Turiya Gnanam only. So that is called Mithya. That is why the Jagat is called Mithya. So that is called Brahmagnana. At this state, we, the students, are not having Brahmagnanam, but Brahmagnanam. But anything that is mistaken must be based upon something real. To mistake, if you mistake and see something as a snake, even for that snake to be mistaken, there must be a real rope. This is a point Swami Vivekananda makes very nicely. So even though we don't have, it is not that we don't have Brahmagnanam, we have partial Brahmagnanam in the form of existence, knowledge, and some type of happiness and unhappiness. But at the same time, we have to understand it very clearly that this kind of partial knowledge creates a lot of problems. I am born, that is not a problem, but I am growing up, that is a big problem. In fact, growing up is one of the biggest problems. You know why? Because a young man, and he joins a company, and he goes on from getting promotion. Let us assume that he goes on getting promotion, and he comes to the end, and then he becomes old, and he has to look, what did I forget? Then he is respectfully made redundant, and that kind of redundancy is not acceptable by any person. That is called Jarjaravastha, Vriddhavastha. So growth is okay, but certain type of growth is not okay. So if somebody is growing cancer, that is not okay. So body can have, mind can have, ideas can have, fanaticism also can grow. So all growths are not welcome. So a time will come when we may be experiencing some kind of happiness, but always accompanied with unhappiness, but we realize that this is not welcome. So at that stage, Brahmagnanam, in fact, like a mother, leads every jiva to Brahmagnana. For many people who do not study Advaita, Brahma is like a demon. No. It is what Sri Ramakrishna calls avidya. So Maya is called Vidya Maya. Many times I am trying to inject into our brains. Avidya Maya is not opposite to Vidya Maya. It is like nursery school. It is the foundation, Aksharabhyasa. So if a person cannot master and remember the alphabet, the entire encyclopedic knowledge is dependent only upon the knowledge of the alphabet. But our buddhi, grasping power, also has to go. So a person can turn to Vidya Maya only by going through Avidya Maya. And concretely illustrated, this Avidya Maya goes through two stages, which will take us as if through difficult situations, which is called brahmacharya ashrama and grihastha ashrama. But the same avidya maya again turns our mind by getting blow after blow, uttishtata. We wake up and we turn towards our own self. That is called vanaprastha ashrama, which gradually takes us to the sannyasa ashrama. And this is the only way. So what is the point? Point is Brahmagnanam is not worthless, not an enemy, as many people try to misunderstand. It is the only foundation. It is God's grace, comes in the form of avidya maya. Don't go on becoming clever and say, why can't God simply push us into vidya maya without avidya maya? But anyway, I have not been present when He created the universe. So this is the invariable process. A baby cannot be pulled to become a mature young man. He has to go through a kindergarten, then elementary school, nursery school, elementary school, middle school, high school, and then permanent university, college, university, etc. This is a natural growth. So, this is, the whole world is what is called temporary. That knowledge comes only when we go through this, and that is what Gaudapadacharya wants to analyze in the second chapter called Vaitathya. Tathya means as it is, and opposite to it is called Vaitathya. That is false. What is it? Whatever we are experiencing as permanent, this body is permanent, mind is permanent, parents are permanent, children are permanent. No, nothing in this world is permanent. But in that process we are pointed out, there is somebody who is permanent, because even the idea of impermanency can be understood only if there is an idea of permanency. That is the beauty of it. So there is somebody who is permanent, who never undergoes any change, and that person usually gets mixed up with the impermanent. I am the body, I am the mind. The whole world is nothing but this identification with body-mind and whatever is experienced through this body-mind. So, if we can discriminate and separate the subject from the object, then first thing is develop detachment towards the object, because we understand this is called mithya. What is mithya? Mithya has got two characters. First of all, it is continuously changing. Secondly, it is totally dependent upon somebody called subject. So whatever is changing, whatever is cognized, depends for its very cognition by somebody else. That is called mithya. But in the end, you know what happens? So the subject says, I am separate from the object. That is also part of the spiritual progress. But when we obtain the highest progress, which is I am Brahman, then what we find is this so-called world, that is also none other than Brahman. Then it becomes, instead of a fearful object, a leela, a thoroughly enjoyable way of life, leela. And that understanding we must have, and that understanding comes to us through the teachings of Sri Ramakrishna, Holy Mother, and Swami Vivekananda. This is the contribution of Sri Ramakrishna, Krishna, Rama, etc. So the second chapter is called Vaitathya, means unreal chapter, containing 38 karikas or shlokas. That is the analysis of Gaudapada, and it indicates clearly mithya nature. How does he do it? Gaudapada does it in the form of what you call comparison and analysis. So when we are in the waking state, we think that is real. When we are in the dream state, that becomes real. Waking and dreamless, deep sleep becomes unreal. Then both become unreal, then we enter into deep sleep state. This compare and contrast system is very prominent in this second chapter. So the waking state is as real as the dream state, which is to say it is not real, just like dream appearance only, not reality. And that is the essence of the second chapter. The third chapter is called Advaita. Then what is the reality? Third chapter is called Advaita Prakaranam. That seventh mantra of the Mandukya Upanishad, Shantam Shivam Advaitam. Having denied it is not waking, it is not dream, it is not in between, etc., etc. Say ultimately it comes Shantam Shivam Advaitam. That Advaita is the highest, and that is why the whole third chapter is to establish there is no multiplicity, there is only one unity, and that is called Advaitam, that is called Brahman. And this Gaudapada conveys through 48 Karikas dealing with the non-dual nature of Atma. Then the fourth chapter, in a way, is called Alata Shanti Prakaranam. That is the complete extinguishing of the Alata. Alata means a firebrand, beautiful, and it contains 100 Karikas, and in a way it is also the essence of the earlier 3 chapters also. So therein lot of objections that can be raised by other schools of philosophy, other philosophers, Dvaita, Visishta, Dvaita, Nyaya, Vaiseshika, Sankhya, Yoga, and Buddhistic schools. They have been refuted, and we tried our best to understand it. So what is the essence? Brahma Satyam, Jagan Mithya, Jivo Brahmaiva Naparaha. There are a few more points which we will talk about in our next. Om Jananim Sharadam Devim Ramakrishnam Jagadgurum Padapadme Tayo Sritva Pranamami Muhurmuhu. May Sri Ramakrishna, Holy Mother and Swami Vivekananda bless us all with bhakti. Jai Ramakrishna.